Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Leaning In and Speaking Out, the Research Connection podcast. This morning on the show, we are joined by Dr. Annie Chier and two students, one from Assiniboine Community College and one from Brandon University. I am Jackie Kirk, and I'm in the Department of Leadership and Educational Administration at Brandon University, and I am the co-host of the podcast. And Michelle, I'll let you introduce yourself. My co-host is on Zoom this morning, and then I'll let each of the people at the table introduce themselves as well.
Sounds good. Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Lam. I'm the co-host, like Jackie said, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Nice to see you all.
Loy, would you like to go first?
Okay, sure. I'm Loy Excellentia Initiative. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Educational Psychology and Student Services here at BU.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mubarak?
Good morning. My name is Mubarak. I'm the president of the African Students Club at Assiniboine Community College and also the international student representative at Assiniboine Community College. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Hi, my name is Chukwanogo Okudo, and I am a computer science student here at Brandon University, and I'm also the president of the Brandon University Students Union.
Nice to see you. So, Loy, maybe you can talk to us about what the Excellentia Initiative is and how it's come to be.
Thank you so much for that beautiful question. Loy Excellentia Initiative is a nonprofit organization founded to support international students of African descent, like Black students, to excel within and outside of the school through mentoring, support activities, social events, and stuff like that. So it's essentially meant to help these students be successful here in Canada. And so it has three main components. Number one is a mentoring program. It has also social events and also workshops. So within these three dimensions, when you think about mentoring process or programs, they're organized to help students find the skills they need the moment they step into the university in order to be able to navigate through the challenges of the things they have to come through to be successful. So it runs in so many ways. The new students are provided opportunities to get mentored by older students so that the older students will help them, talk them through about some of the things happening on campus, like registration of courses, bus routes, how those things happen, finding accommodations, and finding part-time jobs, all the basic things students need to know about. So the mentoring program does that. And that mentoring program happens in two layers. One is peer mentoring, where the students receive mentoring from fellow students. And the second layer is where the students themselves receive mentoring from Black professionals in the community. So, for example, maybe Anugo, if he's already in the final year, will be helped to get connected with somebody in the community that is already computer scientist. So the person in the community will help him find the necessary things that will be helpful in getting a good job when he's done. So that is about the mentoring. And so the second aspect is workshop. So we organize multiple workshops for the students, again, providing them with essential skills and knowledge they need to navigate the new learning environment. It is actually driven by the students, so they decide some of the things they want to know more about. So, for example, it might be issue of finance. How do they handle their finances? How do they get good jobs? How can they have a good CV that will get their feet into the door with regards to finding good jobs? It might be how to take care of their mental health. So many things, academic writing, how to become a good researcher. So it depends on actually the kinds of needs they find among themselves. So those workshops will take care of those things. And then the final one is the social events. The social events can be picnics like this summer. We're organizing picnic for the students where they'll be able to relax, have opportunities to have some social networking. And there are also opportunities for them to do like voluntary activities in the community, giving back to the community, maybe serving some needs in the community. So these are part of the social events. I would say these are the summary of what the Loy Excellentia Initiative is all about.
It sounds excellent.
It is.
Would either of you like to talk about what you experienced with the first event as a follow-up to that?
Yeah, for sure. So I attended the Loy Excellentia event. That would have been during the Black History Month, and I think it was great. It had a good turnout, and a lot of helpful information was shared, especially regarding mentorship, because that was one of the biggest things that people or black folks here were looking forward to see who they can learn from, or people they can approach and like talk to about concerns that those people could relate to, and get some insight on how they could like learn more, or who they need to reach out to, or organizations that could help more. Let's say the person needed assistance with like maybe planning an event or getting a job, and they are scared to approach anyone else. So this is where these people probably come in to assist you with like giving you more information to help you in some part of your life, I guess.
Excellent, thanks. Mubarak, what about at ACC?
For me at ACC, I happen to be on two different sides, not like different sides. I happen to be on two sides, being on the international student representative position, and also being the president of the African Student Club. So I would say I'm in the forefront of most of these challenges, and hearing about Excellentia Initiative, it really just motivates me to be like, oh yeah, we've been wanting this, because one of the ideas behind the African Students Club was to do this, but within the school environment, within the student, peer-to-peer, organization. But going further than peer-to-peer, it's really something that really helps a lot, because some of the challenges you see students facing is language barrier is one of them. I mean, sometimes it's not like you don't know what you want, but probably the person you're communicating with might not even understand you. But seeing someone that looks like you, that represents where you're from, makes you feel sometimes relaxed, and you might want to open up to share a lot of things. So this initiative is something that I feel like it's going to help a lot, especially the blacks that are probably some of us are financially not strong enough to withstand the Canadian economy. Some of us language barriers. Some of us we have problems socializing because we don't have people of my color in my community, right? So I feel like this initiative is something that will tackle a lot of these challenges that international students or majorly black students face here in Canada.
Thank you. Do you have some supports at ACC already?
Oh, well, yeah, there are some support, but not specifically for blacks. I don't know if you get. There are student support.
Right.
And, it's based on, you've been lucky.
Right, of course. Yeah. That's the same at BU.
So, coming to Excellentia, it's not going to be based on you being lucky. It's going to be based on you being black.
Right.
So far you can identify as a black. So far you can identify as an international student. So far as you can identify as someone who needs support. It's not like you may get it. It's more like you will get it kind of thing. So it's brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is reminding me a lot of our previous episode around building a beloved community and the idea that I hear what you're saying around students from both institutions having needs related to that need for social events and mentoring, like you talked about. But I just have that episode in the back of my mind that was so focused on the fact that students come here with gifts and students come here with this cultural knowledge and background and strength. and the institutions not always valuing that or seeing that, or in classrooms not always seeing that as a strength. And so this makes me think about your research, Loy, and I wonder if you could share a little bit both about why you started the initiative in the first place, but also how your research has informed this. Could you share a little bit about that?
Okay, sure. Why I started this initiative is all based on my personal experiences as well as experiences of many Black students here in Canada. I remember in my first year PhD here in Canada, UBC, I had some experiences, both positive and negative. And my first month, I think I couldn't see people of the same color, just like Mubarak mentioned. I was the only Black student in my cohort. And in the classes, most of the reading materials didn't reflect my lived experiences. And so at those moments, I felt not belonging in some of the classes. And so going forward, I had conversations with some of the international students whom I noticed were having even worse experiences than myself. And so towards the end of my program, I had opportunity to chat with the head of department at the time to say, there are so many challenges these students are experiencing, and I would love to advocate on their behalf. And she brought into that conversations, which led to pushing forward to the dean of Faculty of Education at the time, who asked me to come up with some plans or to write a proposal on what should be done. And so that beautiful conversation led to the establishment of Cultural Diversity Support Office at the UBC. And luckily, I was the pioneer coordinator of that office. And so during my term in that office, I had multiple moments to discuss with students individually as groups, and also had meetings with the head of departments in the Faculty of Education. And at the end, I got so many information from the students, what their challenges were, what they're asking for, what they want the university to do for them to be able to, excel. And at the end of that program, I made a commitment that wherever I find myself, I will always advocate for international students, especially those of African descent, Black students, because there were not many people, even on the faculty, that represent that population. And so when I came to BU, I was the only Black African faculty member in the Faculty of Education. And so a lot of students have reached out to me through email. Some come to my office sharing the same similar experiences. There are multiple times some people have literally cried before me while sharing the experiences of not finding a job, not finding a good housing, feeling lonely, not being understood in the classes, financial help. And so these challenges will keep me awake at night sometimes thinking, how can I best support these students, knowing that most of them are young kids, and majority of them is the first time they're stepping out of their family, not living with their families. And so that actually pushed me to think about establishing this kind of initiative where they will feel belonging, where they feel their voices are heard, where they're comfortable to share the experiences without thinking of somebody judging them, without someone having a negative interpretation of their experiences. And so that is essentially what led to my establishing or founding this initiative. And when you think about the initiative in relation to my research, they are interconnected. My research is about supporting culturally diverse students, their motivation, their engagement in the classes. And when we think about culturally diverse students, we cannot but talk about students from different cultural backgrounds, from different languages, and Black students are part of it, a huge part of that. And so in my research, I've seen that students are more engaged, motivated to learn if they see that their lived experiences, their values are appreciated within the classes, that their experiences matter, that their voices are heard. And so in those moments, they feel that this is our space they are open to take risks in the learning process. And so thinking about this initiative, it is an opportunity for these students to feel that they belong in the community where they're studying. Because if they don't feel belonging in the community, if they don't feel their voices are heard, that will negatively impact them, their mental health, for example, issue of isolation, and that obviously will impact the way they learn in the classes. And so my research is connected with the initiative, and as a matter of fact, it is pushing the frontiers of my research. My essential research is more within the classroom context, the experiences of these students. But this initiative is looking at the experiences of these students beyond the classroom to the experiences in the community, because their life outside of school shapes their experiences within the classes. And obviously, during the Black History Month celebration, one of the beautiful activities we had was to have the students share the experiences. And so we are in small groups. They wrote the experiences. We had a gallery walk where everybody looked at those experiences. And it was an opportunity for them to talk about what they are feeling, what they are sensing, how they feel here. And through this initiative, there was opportunity to bring the students, the faculty members, the community members together in the same space. And during the gallery walk, the community members were also reading those challenges.
Right.
That Mayor was there, the Dean Faculty of Education, Dr. Farrell, was there as well. So they saw, they read the experiences of these students. And the Mayor said to me that he would be interested to see how those things could be solved, especially housing issues, because a lot of them talked about housing challenges, not finding jobs. And so through the initiatives, again, the voices of these African Black students have been amplified, that their voices are heard. And also, I'm following up with them after the event through survey feedback for them to talk about some of the things, the experiences. And so through the initiative, I'm expanding my research. I will write a report based on their experiences to, again, amplify their voices and see how they could be supported.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how I started this and connected with my research.
It's certainly something that we need at Brandon University. We have a large number, of Black international students, and I agree with you. I have witnessed that they struggle to get settled and get support and find jobs. And I do as much as I can, but they don't trust me as much. And so I really appreciate that there's an initiative like this to help them and to support them, because I care about them always. And it's something that's really needed. And so I'm excited that you're taking it on and finding a way to facilitate better support.
Yeah, even I agree with you. You are concerned for the international students. I've, had some conversations with you outside the classes, and you've sent some students my way. At the same time, Michelle has done the same. So I really appreciate you guys, being helpful to seeing how these students are supported by sending to me. And now the initiative is open to accommodate them more, because part of the thing was that I was even being overwhelmed by the number of requests the Black students are making of me. So I'm like, these students, they don't even know that faculty members have their own challenges as well. But with the initiative, I think it opens up a common space for everybody to be part of that support.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I was just reading the Brandon City Plan that was just released this week or last week. And it says in that city plan that 23% of Brandon residents are immigrants. And some of the issues that you just brought up, like employment and housing, there are things addressed in that plan. And so it makes me wonder about this initiative and whether you see a role for more active advocacy, or is the advocacy just encapsulated in the bringing the mayor in or bringing city councilors into the initiative to hear the voices of students? Are you thinking about kind of longer term advocacy in relation to the city of Brandon or other ways forward?
For sure. It is not just Brandon. This initiative actually is for all black students in Canada, but is currently being nursed or homed in Brandon. Okay. So when you think about the challenges of students in Canada and African students in Brandon, the advocacy is beyond having the community members listen to it. Like I mentioned, I will follow up with the Black History Month celebration with a report of what the students are saying. And already we've created some videos of some of those events as a way of disseminating information. And so when I write the report, I will present it to the mayor, and I will also plan to have a copy of it sent to BU, international office, and even to vice president, and then to ACC, to say these are the challenges black students, international students in Brandon community are facing, and they would want to see a way they could be supported, because there are so many advantages to it. When students feel that the city, the university, the community is listening to them, they will be more disposed to give back to the community. Because when they feel that Brandon, for example, is a very welcoming environment, they wouldn't want to leave Brandon when they finish their studies. And so when they stay back in Brandon, they will help to develop Brandon community. The economy of Brandon will grow, and it will be an attractive place for international students and the foreign workers to come. So the advocacy is beyond just the immediate. There is a long-term goal that it will be a global, national initiative as far as Black, African descent students are concerned in Canada.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, from the initiative, what did you see as the benefits, and did you see some things that happened actually that day that made a difference?
There are a few things I can say that happened. One is that I could see smiles on the faces of the students when they were walking into the room.
Right.
You know, for me, standing by the side looking at them, I could sense them saying without verbally having that out there, oh, finally I found a place I belong. Mm-hmm. You see the way they hug themselves, the way they were chatting, telling you that this is something they're belonging for. And so that was one of the things I saw. And during the moment they were sharing their experiences, you could see most of them discussing, writing things. Again, it was like, yes, I get a safe space to be myself. Mm-hmm. I see people like me. I hear music from my place. I hear voices similar to mine. I see colors like mine. In fact, let's stay here. It reminded me about the biblical experience of transfiguration, where Jesus was with Peter and his disciples, James and John. And so after that experience, it was beautiful for them that Peter said, oh, Jesus, how I wish that we remain here. So it was that kind of experience for them that they longed to stay longer. They wanted it more. So that was part of the things I saw in that event. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. What about for you guys?
Yeah. I think because I was about to chip in on that, and I was like, yeah. So it might be an odd way to put it when you say it's a stress reliever, right? Because that's something some of the students look forward to, like events like this or some other fun events too, right? They see it as a stress reliever. They look forward to meeting their peers and having that conversation. It's a networking opportunity to grow. And of course, workshops like this, it passes information. It gets to like teach you something you've never known or heard of. So those kind of things are something that people put into consideration, or some people put into consideration when they're attending events like this and like looking forward to initiatives like this, a way to like build their I guess intellect is the word I would use, on understanding how things work, understanding who I could approach regarding an issue, and understanding how to maybe bring forward a concern and trying to put it through so that people understand where I'm coming from. In other sense, just learning how to communicate effectively to others.
I'm just gonna add to what Anugo said. Aside from that, for someone that's probably been to my community or where I'm from, social events are very, very important. We don't joke with them. We love to party. We love to we love to have social events. So if you are in a place and you don't have social events for like 2 months, you feel like, am I leaving? That's the kind of country that I'm from, right? Because we like social events to the extent that we make attires for different events, just to be there. And that day, on that very day, I was very proud to wear my native wear. And because since I've been to Canada, I've never really had the opportunity to wear my native wear. So when I hear black, community having an event, oh, this is my chance to, to not wear the, jacket, to not wear the hoodies, just be in my native wear, my filler, and I go there. And being at that event, it's more like the first event where I will see BU student and ACC student in the same room. I've never seen it in this Canada, except that maybe organization is maybe like there's an organization that is inviting us to a workshop kind of thing. But and then that's still going to be a mixed room, right? But being in a room with both, BU students, ACC students of my color, it gave me this vibe of, the person I sat with on that table, I don't even know him from anywhere. But the way we were interacting, sharing problems, it was so similar, like he was sitting right next to me when I came to Canada. It's the kind of connection that we all had in that, in that room. I met him at that event. I mean, I've never seen him before, even though we are in the same Brandon. And he's been here way before my arrival in Brandon, But this kind of event brings us, together. I mean, it's more like, a potluck. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Kind of a potluck. Bring your own food, bring your own culture, bring your own, attire. Let's just see what we have. So the benefits were so much for me. I was able to, meet him, and I've been very, 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 very invested in the Loy Excellentia, initiative, because I feel like it's really something that had been long, it's been so much being waited for. And now that it has arrived, I mean, why not? Let's just make it stay. That's one thing I see. Right.
And investing in it will make a big difference. How long have you been in Canada?
I got here last year.
Okay.
Which means I'm still I just came yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then connecting with people that have been here for 3-4 years. I mean, some 10, 20. I mean, during the conversation we had on that very day, we met the first black counselor in Brandon. I never would have thought I would meet someone like that. I mean, without that kind of initiative, right? So that's the kind of initiative that is bringing the old to the present, to the future, connecting every dot that, I'm filling every hole, which is something that I feel like, I mean, I was just so locked into it, and I'm so happy that it happened. I mean, they share their experience of their first winter, which I have not experienced, because everybody's telling me this is the mildest, winter, which I'm glad. I mean, I feel like this is a welcome party, right?
Yeah.
But I'm too glad because people share their experience, their first time coming to Canada. It gives me a lot of hope, right? Because I know the experiences, I know the few things I've passed through in my short time arriving in Canada. But, hearing stories from people that have been here 20 years ago, seeing that they experienced my problem in 2024, it's really more like, oh, I'm not alone kind of initiative, kind of idea. The initiative, I feel like the benefits are just too much for me. I don't want not to waste much of our time, but I feel like the benefits are just too much. And I kind of love the idea, the initiative, and everything that had to bring about the Loy Excellentia.
Thank you so much. One of the things that you said was that it gave you hope.
Yeah.
And I think a lot about hope, because I think that when we're in hard places or bad places, hope is sort of the turning point, right? As long as you have hope, you can keep going through it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have hope, if you lose that, it's really easy just to give up. And so that's one of the things that I was thinking about the initiative, that it would give hope to people. So I'm interested that that was the word that you used too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm even happy to hear their experiences because I haven't had time to chat with them one-on-one on how they feel, apart from what has been written down by some other students. And, I'm happy they are seeing that hope, that they're already being empowered, in terms of, oh, I'm not the only one experiencing this. If this person had this experience 20 years ago and still here and surviving and successful, then I can do it. Which is part of the goal of this initiative, that the successful professional Black in the community will be able to mentor these students. And so, like he mentioned, he hasn't seen some of the people he mentioned, like Anugo or Sunday Franji or Richard Azini, who is working at the RBC. These are some of the Blacks who came here as students over 10 years ago. They went through what he's passing through, but we can say they're successful today. And so that gives them that hope that they can succeed, which is part of what this initiative is all about. So I'm happy hearing this from them both. Yeah.
Yeah, and the idea of hope too is great, because when you get the students coming into, let's use the university or college setting, for example, that have had these experiences of various experiences when they arrived here in Canada, and they've just not had anyone to share it with. They've just been keeping this to themselves. Then you have events like this come up, initiatives like this, and some others that might be around town come up. They get there to like air what they're like looking at or facing, in general, and then find people of similar interest or people of similar concerns, just to find a way to like address that issue and find a way to move forward, get helpful advice and tips that would help them handle these situations much better. So I generally think it was a great thing that happened, and I think looking forward, it's something people would also want to participate in general.
I
Right.
for sure will. I for sure will. I for sure will. I mean, I love it so much, honestly. I mean, it resonates with the whole idea behind the African Student Club. So it was more like African Student Club, but on a bigger level. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah.
And it's more like African Student Club in Asenebon, but African Student Club in Brandon, city
Yeah.
of Brandon. So it gave like the future of what we started as a small club, and seeing that initiative, just like, oh, hey brother, it's been a long time kind of thing. They just connect and push it forward. So I know the number of African Student Club that came to that event. Well, like 7 that came to that event from that club alone. I mean, it's something that everybody's been looking forward to, because I feel like
Right.
if someone that has been here before me can have that support, it can make it easier for me. That is the whole aim of, settling, right? A lot of people had challenges getting accommodation. A lot of people had challenges, finding their first job. And, no matter how much you brought from your country, sometimes you start spending Canadian dollar. But if you don't earn it, how will you spend, right? So, I mean, this is where the support that everybody wanted, but they were not getting. So, coming to that, finding those support, it's something that I really want to, like, if this initiative had started like 10 years ago, I bet you, I mean, I'm very sure that a lot of things will have changed for a lot of people like us. It's like, we coming to, it's going to be like a walk away from home to another home kind of thing. It's not going to be like I left my country to another country. It's going to be like I left home to another home kind of thing. So, and I feel like that's really something that we all want. Even the city of Brandon loves it. I'm sure they will like it, because the potentials that I see in people like me, I feel like sometimes I may not be able to express it because the community doesn't really want to see it. Right. Sometimes the way I'm expressing myself might be misconstrued, or maybe misconstituted, or they might say maybe it's being violent. And sometimes it might be like, that's just me. That's just my culture. I mean, the African Student Club was invited to the staff's gathering at Asenebon Community College on March 6th. And we had a brief, cultural presentation, I was able to tell the staff some of the challenges of students. I was able to tell them something that makes me identify as a Black. And I could remember in that room, one of the things I let them understand is sometimes from where I am, from greetings, respect is something that we take very, 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 very valuable. Me seeing Dr. Aloy, and I come to tell him that, good morning, sir, and I bow to him, doesn't mean I'm worshiping him. But in my country, is something that we take very, very serious, because I can't just look at him and, just stand right in front of him and without respecting him. You understand? So these are the, diversity that we are bringing from our country that we want to showcase here. And we are not trying to showcase it in a way that we are going to neglect the existing culture in the community. But we just want, a multiculturalism that we want to, let's just express, ourselves. Let's just be ourselves. Let us live in a way that it's going to be beneficial. Let us show our potentials. And this is some of the initiatives that will allow us, to bring our own ideas, because everybody came with a dream, right? We left the country. It's a lot of miles away from home. And I didn't come here to just be clueless. I want to come here and bring ideas, bring initiatives, support the community, grow the community as well. So these are the initiatives that can allow me to do that, because that's really something that I feel like it's something that I need so much. So I'm going to be a part of it, a big one, definitely a part of it.
Thank you so much. That's a really great statement about the value of the initiative. And I think you're so right. I think that's a great place to end our conversation. If you have anything else to add, please do. Michelle, if you have anything that you'd like to add, jump in.
The only thing I'm thinking is that maybe we should call this conversation something like building hope and home. Like those two words keep emerging as something that's key to what this special thing is that's happening. I think building home, a sense of community, and hope for the future is really what I'm picking up through this conversation. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. It's such a gift to hear your stories and to hear some of the stories that you're sharing about other people coming out of the Loy Excellentia workshop that just happened. And I feel really grateful to have heard all of you. So thank you very much.
Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invitation and having me as well.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.